Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your weeklies. This is February 22nd to February 28th. You can meet my assistant. This is Sapphire, and she is here to kind of give her commentary and observation on the entire reading. Hopefully not to mess it up, as sometimes she's known to do it. But in any case, she brings luck. So let's go to your reading. What is basically the base for this week? You have Chariot and the Moon. You're trying to forge forward without really knowing all these elements and knowing all the facts. You feel that certain things are shadows and certain things are secrets, and you're willing to actually still go ahead and kind of trust your own inner abilities in doing that. So what is the starting point? Starting point is basically the base of the issue. You kind of like feel that you really want to be withdrawn a little bit. You feel kind of like curling up to yourselves, and it is like coming Four of Sky. So this is one of those cards which is kind of like very in your head. You're trying to figure out things on your head, but right now you feel like retreat is due. But this is kind of a good retreat. This is retreat after knowing that you averted something really, really bad for you. So right now you're relaxing and you're like thanking your lucky star because Nine of Sea is the card that is crossing you. And this is basically the wish card, kind of like really things are happening your way. And maybe this is just simply dreaming how, good life can be, or how good life you want life to be really that good. Now, what I'm seeing here in your reading also is that you have two aces. So let's before we get there talk about basically this creative challenge and your weekly kind of like process that you have to focus to. So we have Five of Sea. So you have the kitty that kind of like fell to this pond trying to get these fishies, and kind of like it didn't really end well. It's right now like not such a happy face. But you know what? Not everything is lost. You have to regroup and you have to figure out how to get there. This is the card of sadness, and it basically tells you that you have to focus how to deal with that. Five of Sea is like who will you trust, and are they kind of like do their trust? Let me show you in a video.
I'm not going to do it this time.
You promise?
Yes.
Capricorn, this is basically a situation. You feel somebody knocked you down and you feel like you really trusted someone. You feel like kind of information kind of like was there, but you kind of failed to see it. But you were still willing to kind of charge ahead, right? So this kind of like was what is bringing you to this week. However, what I'm seeing over here is like, this is the bigger picture. The bigger picture is to charge forward. The bigger picture is what kind of like you understand. It is time to kind of generate new ideas. It's time to like start and charge new starts. Nine is like a really nice card. It's kind of you achieved something that you were planning to achieve. Like it's time to relax a little bit, but like you're starting something new again. So like you're not going to rest for too much. And what I'm seeing here are the strengths that you brought from the past. And in the past, you were a good kitty. Like it's somebody who dealt with issues from the past, and sort of like it's the equivalent of a judgment card, but it will be a bad thing if it's this way is a good thing. So you kind of like figure out, and you spoke your truth in the past, and right now, you know that you are kind of like getting to Capricorn 2.0, and you are trusting the decisions you have made, that you spoke your piece, that you kind of like did kind of make up for the things you didn't do well. And hence, you are starting to kind of like go and move forward. This is kind of like what would happen if basically there are absolutely no influences, like it's the Ace of Fire. So it is like very passionate, moving forward energy, kind of like shedding all the sorrow that you have been feeling. So this is kind of like the situation, and let's review this card, which is kind of like an angel card, before we kind of like move forward to see what this is revealing. And you got a card of a soulmate. It says, yes, this is your soulmate. Take a look at the picture. It is basically really, really nice cards. So besides the obvious that you think that you met somebody who is your soulmate, or if you're dreaming, that the answer is yes. This is your soulmate. And if you're dreaming, if you were ever kind of like meet your soulmate, that the answer is also yes. However, what you need to understand here, there is not only one person who is your soulmate. This is kind of a whole bunch of people who basically will lead you toward learning lessons, right? You may have the soulmate in the past and you may have them again. So this is basically all it is. So what is basically the real question? The real question is like about something that hasn't been finished. You have the world reversed. World reversed, right? So what is happening here? It is kind of like it's turned around. Somebody did something to you, and that's why you're going to this retreat. That's why you're wondering about this information, questioning yourself if you took everything into account, and you're feeling sad. You're not willing, or you're starting to be slowly turning around to see that there are actually positive sides in the situation. But this means to me that you're stuck in pattern. I usually, when I see this card, it tells me that the closure is not reached. That you're repeating the pattern. If nothing else, if you're not with somebody, you're repeating the pattern. So the soulmate, you're not ready for the next soulmate, for the next level soulmate. You're still repeating the same thing. It's like probably very passionate relationship that kind of like looks like it's fulfilling your needs, and then you're trying to be the boss in the relationship, and that doesn't end well. So where is basically this guiding you this week? Because these are unseen forces. It's telling you, please let it die, right? It's telling you, okay, this is a good card. The death card is a good card, guys. Remember this? Because it's time to kill what doesn't work and born what works. Kitty cats have 9 lives. You guys have also many chances to restart and start new. And that's why you have 2 aces. You are ready. Your thoughts are here and you're willing and able to put the energy in it. You did go through some self kind of doubt and questioning, and you did find what works, what doesn't work. And you are focused to your soulmate. So please let it die. Let it die what doesn't work and move ahead, even if this means like at this stage your soulmate is being yourself. Why do I say that? Is because we have a Sky King over here, and this is like reversed. This way, this is a really good king. It's like real fair, somebody who is a judge, right? Somebody who can actually make decisions. And again, this is showing sort of like your need, Capricorn, to control a little bit. But that's highly intellectual. This is not grounded energy. This is like somebody on the mountain looking down. But this way, it is like inverse. Inverse, this king is still a judge, a fair, but somebody who's very rigid, somebody who really had a bad day, somebody who was cut off in traffic, who had an accident, and whose wife has left him. So, he might be a little bit rigid. And it's basically asking you that this week, you kind of like be careful, because I see that in your Chariot card. You're trying to be too forceful. You're thinking that you're invincible, and this can actually cost you, because you know what, this is not a really great energy to have. And in the end of the week, it's going to be 9 of Pentacles. So this is the ultimate single card and card of comfort, and it is the card that actually feels comfortable for you. It looks like that you're going to go through the rinse and through the cycle. And since you're not able to find comfort, and you're still not able to lift off all these new decisions, you will decide to, for the time being, enjoy all the benefits and enjoy yourself, which basically is the command of the week. Soulmate, you need to repair everything. You have the Judgment, you have 9, and you have to figure out what are the shadow parts. I think the shadow parts are more or less your personality than anything else over here, because you have to deal with the pain. You have to deal with disclosure before you move ahead. So let me check this Sky King. I want to see what is with this Sky King over here. Sky King. As I told you, we have enemy, we have falseness, and we have thoughts. Don't be your own worst enemy. Just do things for the right reasons and think through before you act. Right? That's the influences. Just be very careful with things that you're doing. Let's check this lack of closure here. I want to see what is this all about, and then I'm going to also confirm the soulmate, because it's kind of confusing. So let's confirm this death and the world reverse. Let's see what's hiding behind these two for Capricorn. You have joyfulness, you have sights, and you have wife. So how can you be happy and be sad at the same time, right? So this is why this is not dying. This is not dying because there is a relationship that maybe is of a great importance. Maybe you feel you have children. Maybe you feel, well, this is a good person on the paper. But, you know, you had good times and you know that you can have good times in this type of relationship, but also you'll feel loneliness. You will feel that maybe you're neglected. Look at the roses down, the ship sailed away, and she's looking away. You know, she's looking at these good times, but with sorrow, like she's sighing. And you know, the wife is the relationship that doesn't have to necessarily be, you know, a loving relationship. It is simply a functional relationship. And it tells me here, when you put these three cards together and they're residing on the world and death, you have to figure out which part of this it was or it wasn't, what was the real, what was not real, because you have these things, and kind of close it. If that was your soulmate, then you have to kind of communicate, and that's why you got this communication card over here. Just don't be rigid, and maybe you were too rigid with this person, and maybe you're going to end up being single without wanting to be single because you want to be happy. Mind you, this is also single, and here is single, and here suffering single, and you want to win. Guys, you cannot have a joy if you want to be a winner in a relationship. This is a type of a thing where there is like no win thing. Like if you win, the other person loses. And if somebody loses, you're not a winner. So let's check the soulmate. Soulmate, you have the service, you have young woman, and you have child. Well, young woman and 9 of Earth is the same card. Soulmate basically says, well, you don't want to be single. You really want to be with someone, and you know, you want to be of service with someone, and you want to have a new start with someone. So it's basically you're realizing that whatever happened in the past, you have to leave it in the past. But there is still longing about it. You're still trying to see how to figure out, and maybe you're still trying to see if you were actually functional in this relationship. I don't know, on the second thought, this can mean that maybe you feel that your soulmate is already in your life, and this is why you're hesitant to release it, because you're realizing that there were good times with this person, especially if you're in a couple and you have a relationship in a couple, and you're trying to figure out how to resolve these bad times. You're trying to figure out why is there a lure of being on your own, because you guys are not lured by a different partner. You guys are lured by being on your own. This is your key of the week. You want to be left alone. You feel very happy being alone, and you also want to be completely in charge, sort of like a selfish energy, but at the same time you're not feeling super happy about it, but that's what you're going to start. So if you have somebody else, you know, just be gentle. Don't be harsh on how basically discussion is being made. If you want to be single, good for you. And I'm going to actually clarify that 9 of Earth and this young woman here, and just to see basically what is the rune's advice. Woo! We have the rune of disruption. We have Hagalaz. So now with 9 of Earth, which is the single basically card, this says that you can endure powerless and uncertainty with patience. So this is also patience, and this is comfort, and this is somebody who kind of like is really not caring about the other world. And this is also saying that you might have some unfounded fears. And again, this is back and forth. This fears actually did show in the rest of it. So now, thank you for the rune. It's kind of clarified. And this is actually talking about the harsh winds of reality. That singlehood is like not ideal. Yes, you're on your own. You get to make your own decisions. You kind of like don't have to negotiate when it's the time for bathroom. But at the same time, you don't have somebody that you can kind of like cry on their shoulder. You don't have somebody you can share the food with. And, you know, you don't have somebody who basically is to call your own. So there are plus and minuses, and this is just basically saying when you get into the bad parts, just shelter yourself from the storm, and be aware that you really need to be patient, and be aware that, this is kind of linked to Halloween, and that whatever you see at Halloween is kind of deceptive. It's really not what it is. So also be aware of gambling. If you're gambling and you're trying to threaten someone that, well, you know what, I prefer to be single, they will maybe just take you up to it. So the gamble will not end up well if you do it this way. So advice this week: communicate, deal with your emotions, put your heart on the table, communicate in a nice way. Please don't become your own enemy, because it can come back to bite you. Well, thank you very much. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you next week. Please check your monthlies if you haven't already. Love you.